In this video tutorial, a 12-inch by 8-inch ADA compliant sign will be made using 1/8 inch thick reverse engraver's acrylic. This application requires the use of Vision 9 Expert or Pro software, as well as the optional Braille inserter. We will be using the Vision 2550 router, although any Vision machine from the 1612 model and larger can be used. Begin by creating a 13-inch by 9-inch plate size, which is slightly larger than the desired 12-inch by 8-inch sign we will make. Using the rectangle tool, draw a 12-inch by 8-inch rectangle and center it on the plate. The horizontal and vertical position fields were used to center the rectangle in this example. The numbers entered are 1/2 the plate height and width. Make sure the center nub is selected when positioning objects in this manner. To give this rectangle rounded corners, click on the Round Corners icon. A radius warning may appear. Our radius will be small in comparison to the size of this rectangle. Click on OK to close this warning. Select the Round Outside Corners icon. Then type in 0.5 inches for the radius and click on Apply, then close. To enter the ADA text, choose the ADA Raised Text tool icon and click anywhere in the plate. Choose an ADA compliant font from the ADA Raised Fonts folder. In this example, we are using the Guess R font. Change the font size to 0.75 inches and type in the text as shown. Notice that the Braille characters are automatically created when using this text tool. Move the text near the lower left of the rectangle for now. We will now add some decorative clip art. Select the clip art viewer from the layout menu. Open the folder named Decorative. Select the design named Stripe 09 and click on the drawing to import it. Do the same for the design named Stripe 013. Then close the clip art viewer. The imported clip art may be quite large, so move and resize the clip art to fit it into the plate. Then change the top clip art image to 3.25 inches wide. Make sure the proportional lock is engaged when doing this. Rotate this clip art -20 degrees using the rotation field. We now use the Duplicate command to create a simple array. From the Options menu, choose Vision Setup and General Preferences. We can set the duplicate distance to 2.3 inches X and -0.25 inches Y. Then click OK. Now, when we either click on the Duplicate command or use the shortcut Ctrl-D, the selected object will be copied and moved by the duplicate distance we just set. Use Ctrl-D to repeat this to make 4 objects total. Select these 4 objects and center them visually. Select the second clip art image and resize it to 2.8 inches wide. In order to engrave the interiors of these 2 clip art objects, select both objects and click on the Fill Toolpath tool. We are using a 0.03 inch engraver tool for the fill. Set the depth to 0.02 inches. Set the color to red. Choose the S-Sweep fill style with a 20% overlap. Then click on the Engrave Parameters icon and set the number of passes to 1. Click OK on both windows to create the fill path. Select the rectangle to create a cut toolpath. Choose the Male Toolpath tool and select the 1/8 inch end mill as the tool used. Set the depth to slightly more than the 1/8 inch material thickness. 0.130 inches was used here. Choose green for the color and click on the Engrave Parameters icon. Then set the number of passes to 1. Click OK on both windows to create this toolpath. To make a toolpath for the ADA text, select ADA Profile from the Engrave Create Toolpath menu. We are using a .015 flex cutter to cut the raised letters. Choose that tool, and since we are using standard 1/32 inch applique material, set the depth to 0.035 inches. Set the number of passes to 1, click OK, then choose a color we haven't used yet, such as cyan. Click on OK to create the toolpath. We need to engrave the clip art on the back side of our material. Select all objects and click on the horizontal mirror icon. The machine will need to be set up for this application. The Braille inserter needs to be installed. Reference the pinhole and locating pin on the inserter and mount. When using the inserter to install the Braille rasters, the pin must fit into the locating hole. If the pin is not in the hole, the inserter flange will be above the mounting bracket flange. Rotate the inserter to align the pin and hole. Tighten the clamps so we can set our material surface. Notice that the pin extends above the inserter flange when in its lower position. Move the spindle over your material and lower it until the pin becomes flush with the inserter flange, as shown. Press the Set Surface button on the pendant. Press Enter to save this surface position. Loosen the inserter clamp and raise the inserter until the inserter tip is above the bottom of the spindle nose cone, then tighten the clamp. This is to make sure the inserter doesn't drag on the material when engraving or cutting files are being run. In this example, the vacuum table was used on the 2550 router. MDF material was placed over the vacuum table to act as a spoil board. The material we are using for this sign is colored black on its back side. Note that all open areas of the MDF are covered with material in order to maximize vacuum hold down force. 4 cutters will be used in this application: a 30 thousandths flex cutter, the Braille drill, a 1/8 inch end mill, and a 15 thousandths flex cutter. To set the proper depth of all cutters using 1 micrometer setting, first set the micrometer to 0 and install and zero the 15 thousandths flex cutter. Adjust the micrometer -7 clicks, install and zero the Braille drill. Adjust the micrometer to +15 clicks, install and zero the 30 thousandths flex cutter. Finally, adjust the micrometer to +35 clicks. The 1/8 inch end mill depth is set by resting the nose cone on the edge of the material and dropping the tool down until it hits the spoil board. With the micrometer set to +35 clicks, all tools are set to the proper depth. To send only the clip art fill path to the machine, press and hold the Control key on your computer's keyboard. Then left-click on the colors you do not want to print. We will leave the red color on, so turn off cyan, green, and black. To send the clip art fill job, select the Engrave icon. Select the acrylic engraving material in the Tool Options window. The proximity sensor and vacuum will be used in this application. Then click on Engrave to send the job. The acrylic material used here has a colored layer on the back side, and it's clear on the front. The cutter should be adjusted so the cutting depth completely removes the colored layer. When finished engraving the clip art, use the Control and left click method to turn the red color off and the green color on. We can now send only the outside toolpath and profile cut the material. Click on the Engrave icon and set the tool for acrylic cutting. Keep in mind your cutting speed will depend on your machine. If unsure about speeds, try using slower speeds at first. Running the machine too fast can cause quality problems or damage the cutting tool. As with clip art engraving, the proximity sensor and vacuum are used here. Click Engrave to send the job. When profile cutting, the cut depth should just barely touch the spoil board. We want to cut through the material cleanly, but not significantly damage the spoil board. Before sending the ADA text, turn all colors on using the left click and the control key. Then select all objects and use the horizontal mirror button to flip the image back. When processing the ADA letters in Braille, the Braille should be created first. Turn off all colors except black. Then select the ADA Plot command under the Engrave menu. Select Cut Braille Text. This method selects only the Braille and sends two files to the machine. The first file drills the holes, and the second installs the rasters. The ADA Plot command loads presets for drilling holes and installing the raster beads. Notice that the material has been flipped over prior to processing the Braille and ADA letters. When the holes have all been drilled, lower the inserter to its bottom position. It should extend below the spindle nose cone. Remove the Braille drill as well. The second file installs the Braille raster beads. To send the toolpath to cut the ADA letters, turn on the cyan color and turn the black color off. Select ADA Plot from the Engrave menu and select Cut Raised Elements. The only object shown in the preview should be the ADA text. Presets for cutting applique materials are loaded automatically. The applique has a time and pressure sensitive adhesive on the back side. Place enough material for the text we are cutting above the Braille rasters. Lightly press down, then begin running the cut file. After cutting the applique material, use a brush to clear any debris from the cut areas. Peel the applique soon after cutting. You may have to weed the interiors of some characters as well. The last step is to color fill the back side of the sign. Mask the edges of the sign and use an acrylic paint to fill the engraved areas. Thank you for watching. This concludes this video.